For part 4, we've got Aang, Korra, Azula, Jimmy, and Reptar.
Avatar Aang is back and ready for his return to Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, with a fresh new moveset and design totally fit for an airbending master. With some returning movement options like his air scooter and glider, as well as the addition of another jump, Aang has excellent movement capabilities and fantastic combo potential. As the avatar and master of all 4 elements, Aang naturally has other abilities at his disposal besides just airbending. His side special pushes enemies back and lights them on fire, which does damage over time, and his neutral special, Ice Shards, is a chargeable attack where, if in the air, he'll throw the shards diagonally, and if on the ground, they'll be tossed
I'm not
straight
biased, but Aang probably had the biggest visual upgrade and
in addition
moveset
to the
upgrade.
powerful pillars of stone that erupt from the ground after landing with the aerial version, Aang can also spike opponents should you find the precise timing and spacing necessary with his staff.
I'm so excited to see how good his triple jump is too.
Now let's take a quick look at Aang's light normal attacks. Here's his light up air, down air, back air, forward air, and of course neutral air. And now his grounded light down, forward and up attacks. As you might have noticed, these are all entirely new moves from Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 1, and by extension that means there's a lot of new possibilities to explore. Altogether, Aang has a very versatile moveset and can go way off stage to apply pressure and still make it back safely. His neutral game revolves around slipping and sliding with deceptive, elegant movements and generally defensive play. As you'd expect, his presence in the air is very powerful, both in his ability to weave around a fight and to combo opponents. While he does have an excellent recovery, especially now that he can air dodge out of his up special, he's also one of the lightest characters in the game, which makes him much easier to knock out. If you love having lots of unique movement and combo options, maybe
I'm
Aang is the
maining
avatar
Aang, I
for
can't
you.
wait.
Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more character spotlights.
I found
Making her
Korra.
return appearance, Avatar Korra is back and ready for action in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. Korra, like her avatar predecessor, Aang, is capable of bending and harnessing all 4 elements: earth, fire, air, and water. But unlike Aang, Korra is much more focused on hitting hard and overwhelming her opponent's defenses. With fire thrusters that allow her to quickly close the gap and a metal bending whip that can pull opponents in, Korra has plenty of ways to force an opening and lay down some damage. Every single one of Korra's moves is associated with a different element, and depending on which element was last used, her light neutral air attack changes to match. Earth hits harder,
so cool.
Water has greater reach, fire hits multiple times, and air gives her a vertical boost if used while rising. With that, let's dive straight into her special moves.
Dude, they did so much to her. This is awesome.
Are associated with which elements. Like mentioned before, Korra is geared towards an in-your-face fighting style, and what better way to do that than to fly straight at him at blazing high speed with her side special, Burning Tackle. This move can be interrupted with a jump or any one of her other attacks. On the ground, Korra takes off at max speed, which makes it an incredible gap closer. In the air, Korra takes a little bit of time to accelerate, but it's still very helpful.
Dude, they made her so freaking cool.
If you need an even quicker boost of speed, the slime version of this attack will do the trick, but keep in mind that it doesn't go nearly as far as the regular versions. Korra's down special is a metal bending whip with some huge range. If you're able to hit opponents at the end of the whip, they'll get pulled in straight towards Korra, leaving them wide open for whatever attack you feel like using. Next up, her neutral special. Korra freezes the ground in front of her, which causes both her and her opponents to slide around whenever they stand on it. If this move is instead used while in the air, Korra will send a quick, small orb of water flying forward and knock her enemies away. If you're getting a little bit too predictable with how you approach, it's always nice to mix up the tempo by throwing out a projectile. The slime version of this move is a fantastic option at the ledge. Korra scoops up any opponents in front of her and sends them crashing down like a waterfall. Lastly, Korra's up special is yet another 2-in-1 special move. In the air, Korra gets a small
I see why they saved her for last.
wind before tumbling back to the ground. If used while she's already on the ground, she instead gets launched into the sky from a column of stone that erupts from beneath her feet and can follow up however she likes. You can use this move to threaten opponents from above, or to chase them high into the air to extend your combos. Korra has plenty of interesting tools outside of her special attacks as well for you to explore. But just for the sake of example, her aerial and grounded light up attacks kick a gust of air upwards that you can use to juggle opponents, and the grounded version even keeps her airborne for a follow-up. Her charged up air pops a rock up from the stage
Korra's got to
below
be
her
the
that she can
most
kick back downwards for some
upgraded
tricky
character
set
from
play,
the first
and
game.
her charged down air allows her to drift around and maintain pressure from some surprising angles when combined with the rest of her mobility options. Do you have what it takes to learn and master all 4 elements? Find out by playing Korra in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2.
I just might be a Korra main now.
As always, thank you for watching, and don't forget to join the Brawl when the game releases. The heirs to the Fire Nation's throne, Azula is ready to rule the competition in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. Azula is a fierce, fiery, fast-paced glass cannon with an explosive combo game.
She's got those
With
crazy
top-tier
eyes.
speed, powerful firebending expertise, and elegant martial arts techniques, Azula is well suited for an aggressive yet calculated playstyle. Most of Azula's attacks are quick, fearsome strikes that glow with her iconic blue fire. Several of her attacks have stronger knockback near the tip where the fire is, and you'll know for sure that you've spaced them properly when you hear these satisfying sounds.
Okay, so they give her like tippers.
While Azula's speed and
That does
agility
sound
are of
cool.
course great for building an offensive game plan, it helps to have some projectiles to lob out if you need to create some space between you and your opponent, or if you just need to slow down the tempo. Her neutral special shoots out a fireball that travels straight ahead if she's on the ground, or diagonally if used in the air. This is a fantastic tool to have that's perfect for all sorts of situations, from controlling space, to playing defensively, or even guarding the ledge. The grounded slime version is especially strong and fantastic for catching opponents off guard.
Ooh,
The aerial version
that
shoots
looks
3
really strong.
fireballs, and while they're not each nearly as strong as the grounded slime version, they cover tons of space. And since they move so slowly, Azula can easily follow up on the openings they create.
It's fitting
Her
that
up
they made
special,
her
Fire Thrusters,
like an
is pretty
assassin.
slow and also pretty vulnerable, but that doesn't stop you from being able to use it offensively by chasing opponents
In
into
the show,
sky
she was
should
really
you
good
choose
at,
to
like,
use the slime version,
ambushes.
or slime cancel it. Her side special, Burning Lunge, is a flaming kick with some high power near the beginning of the attack. In the air, you can choose to angle the move downwards to spike your opponent, or to attempt to land and get back to the stage safely. Finally, Azula's down special channels a powerful bolt of lightning that's sure to send opponents flying if you're able to land it. With Slime, the attack charges twice as fast, but it doesn't hit as hard. Something to keep in mind about Azula is that all the power in the world is still not enough to make up for a weak recovery and lightweight. But as long as you don't get hit, you shouldn't have to worry. She has plenty of powerful tools at her disposal to exert her will and control the match. And once she finds an opening, you can expect some big damage. Slime canceling and smart use of her special attacks are where you can really make the most of Azula's toolset. She almost always has at least one answer for any opportunity. You just have to be ready to recognize the best answer and capitalize on those opportunities when they arise.
That electric
If you
move
think
is
you
so
have the
cool.
cunning and wits to take hold of Azula's abilities, or if you just want a taste of her awesome power, be sure to give her a try in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. Now that you've seen all of our newcomers, who are you most excited to play? Look forward to seeing the rest of our character spotlights coming soon, and get ready to join the fight on November 3rd when the game releases.
It's November 7th, not 3rd. It's okay, I'll allow it.
Jimmy Neutron, the boy genius, makes his way into Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 as a defensive zoner wielding all sorts of fantastic inventions, including
Finally, we
his
got
secret
Jimmy.
watch laser, an all-purpose toaster, the super bubblegum mobile, intelligent purple flurp rocket launcher, and many more. Jimmy's most noteworthy invention is, of course, his beloved robot companion,
Goddard,
who can be summoned with down special, and once active, can be controlled by again pressing down special. If you choose to let him keep running, he'll explode on contact with the opponent. Goddard will be destroyed after taking a bit of damage, so try to keep him close. Goddard can fly around with the control stick, shoot lasers with the charge attack button, chomp with the regular attack button, and even be dropped on enemies' heads by
So
holding
basically
down
you're
and
just
again
Goddard.
pressing the regular attack button. Just be careful to remember that while you're controlling Goddard, Jimmy himself will be stationary and vulnerable, but all you have to do to switch back is, again, press the special button. You'll also immediately be forced back to Jimmy if he starts taking damage.
It's like flying a drone.
As for his other gadgets, Jimmy's neutral B is a rocket launcher that lets you pre-program a series of inputs into the rocket's trajectory, meaning whichever directions you press while charging the rocket, that's the direction the rocket will travel. If all that neuron activation is too complicated for you, don't worry, Jimmy has plenty of fancy tricks without Goddard. His disjointed attacks, like his grounded light forward and aerial light forward, are fantastic for slapping opponents away. And the Super Bubblegum Mobile covers his entire body with an active hitbox, making it a very difficult attack
I love
to
all the little
challenge and a great
gadgets
one
they
to
give
throw
him.
out if you get overwhelmed or have trouble landing. To touch on one of Jimmy's weaknesses, his recovery is rather average, being pretty slow and vulnerable overall
Ooh, yeah.
since the up special doesn't have a hitbox.
That recovery
If
looks
you
a
have your
little
jump,
rough.
however, you can use that during the up special and then up special again if you'd like. And don't forget,
Oh.
you can always slime cancel to get out early, or use Goddard as a way to provide cover. This all only scratches the surface of what might be possible with Jimmy. So it's up to you to hop in the lab, run some experiments,
Makes
and show
sense.
off all the tech that you've discovered.
Big brain character.
Hold on to your diapers because the mighty green dinosaur,
It's
Reptar,
Godzilla.
is here to squash the competition in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. Reptar comes equipped with scorching fiery breath, incredibly powerful attacks, brutal chomps, and of course, ice skates. Reptar excels at striking fear into his opponents just from his sheer strength and size, which he needs considering his low speed. While many of Reptar's attacks also tend to be a little bit slower to come out with a little bit more
He's a
recovery time,
fancy
they're
little
made safer
dinosaur.
by just how hard they push opponents away if blocked. With that in mind, if you find yourself cowering in the corner against Reptar, you might also find yourself teetering on the edge of defeat. Several of Reptar's moves draw from his unique flame meter, including his ferocious grounded and aerial upcharge attacks and a few of his special moves. Dealing damage with his other attacks will build that meter right back up, so as long as you let Reptar take a breather every now and then, you shouldn't have to worry about running out. Let's jump straight into Reptar's special attacks. His down special, Flame Breath, might look a bit familiar from Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 1. While the special button is held,
Yeah, this
Reptar
move was
becomes
broken
immune
in
to
the first
knockback,
one.
allowing you to essentially counterattack and open your opponent up for combos with a spread of fire across the floor. While in the air, this move changes into a diagonal fireball that knocks opponents away. His neutral special is just like his aerial down special, except it only goes horizontal. These fireballs are pretty big, which helps out a lot with finding control over the stage, guarding the ledge, or hitting people from afar.
It's nice that they gave the heavies like ways to zone
Reptar's up
people
special,
out.
Jurassic Slam, leaps high into the air before falling back down to crush any enemies underneath him. You can also make Reptar fall sooner if you press down on the control stick. Finally, Hungry as a Dinosaur, his side special is a command
just hope
grab.
the,
Reptar lurches forward and
heavies
tries to swallow his opponent's whole
are
before
fairly
spitting them
balanced.
back out. The direction Reptar spits his opponent is decided by which direction the control stick is being held after a brief pause. Left, right, or even downwards. The downwards version of this attack can be an especially frightening way to knock out your opponents or combo them on stage. Reptar definitely doesn't move or attack quite as fast as some other members of the cast, but if you know just how, when, and where to hit your opponents ahead of time, you won't be missing out on much anyways. Thanks to his fiery attacks and the extra range granted by his tail, Reptar is also able to hit opponents from a pretty
He's gonna
solid
be a
distance before
grappling
committing to
machine.
one of those hard-hitting finishers. If you're one of many Reptar fans around the world, or if you want to know what it's like to be him, then give him a try in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2.
The Dino Stomp.
As always, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more character spotlights coming soon.
That's a pretty good ultimate. Ooh, we got the Reptar clips. He's styling on Grandma.